segment because second segment's just the duct tape boy and Brent. Yeah, that'll be.
I know. I'm so excited that you got him.
It was such a last minute thing too. Jeremy was like, "Can we get him?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'll text his mom."
We'll see.
So cool. That is so major.
Okay, we are live right now on YouTube, so don't anybody say anything crazy.
Hello, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
Oh,
everyone's gathering for rehearsal. We're beginning rehearsal. I'm going to remove myself from the stage, and then we'll get started here. We all good? Everybody's good?
I think I'm good. Am I good? You can hear me, see me?
Everybody's good. All right, here we go. So normal. Let me get my rundown. I'm not normal. I'm not ready. Yeah, you're fine. All right, I'm muting everybody except for Jackie.
Eight off the mat and go. Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
Great episode this week, and we are going to absolutely twirl it out. If you have questions or if you want to be part of the broadcast, feel free to reach out. If you're watching over on YouTube, hit us up in those comments and let's get this going. Before we see who's on the sidelines this week, though, make sure you go and subscribe on your favorite listening app. Write us a review. Share this episode with a friend. If you have a good topic to talk about, or if you have a question for us to answer, email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com, or you can DM us on any of our social media. We also have a form to fill out if you want to be a guest. You can check that out at our link in bio. Let's see who's on the sidelines this week. Trish, just back from vacation and ready to hit the ground running on some DCI. Hey, girl. You're on mute.
Oh, hi, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Am I still on mute?
Steven.
Hello. I was waiting till you said my name, then I was going to pop off of mute. I've been busy teaching, but I'm happy to be here.
Nicole, you look like you're on a bus, girl. What's up?
She is on a bus, and she is not in the room right now because I think they're driving through the wilderness on their way to Vegas to meet up with me. So
The wilderness.
the desert, let's say that. They're driving through the desert.
Well, Ricardo, you had a lovely week at camp, I've heard.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to wonder if her network connectivity is a little bit iffy being on the road.
Yeah.
Rude.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Our dynamic trio. This will be the first episode that's not all three of us if she's not here. Do you want me to pick up with Ricardo then? Hey, Ricardo, I saw on Facebook, it looks like you had a very exciting week at camp.
Oh my goodness, yeah, it was a blast. It is definitely, I call it the best week of the year. Teaching with some amazing people, and
Well, Chevy. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Speaking of the amazing people you teach with, that was probably several of them in the background
Yeah,
of that
everybody
bus.
talking at once.
yeah, so teaching with some amazing people, some of my dearest friends in the world, and teaching some amazing kids. And that camp is just so special. Like, Jackie, that's where you and I met, and like having that many
Yes.
kids be in a space and be surrounded by other people who have like-mindedness with band and all of that stuff. It's just something about it every year. Like, it's my therapy, and I will hopefully always get to be on staff and go there because I need it. It's like crack.
And we have Nicole joining us straight from the road. Nicole, can you hear us?
Can y'all hear me at all if I'm like this right now?
Yay, there she is.
She's back.
I wish I could turn literally.
That little clip was so, remember in the 80s with the DCI broadcast, they used to do the on the road again, and they used to show like all footage of exactly what you just showed.
Yeah. But it's fun. It's fun.
So,
We got up early and got
Nicole,
back.
do you want to? Oh, dang it.
I'm just gonna go on a limb and say I think we should just start this one over. Because there's way too many things happening. Yeah, just throw this whole thing in the trash and start over because that is a mess.
Ricardo, I saw on Facebook you just got done with a very exciting week at camp.
I did, Jackie. That's where you and I met years ago, and that is the most magical week of the year. It's my favorite time. I get to teach with some of the best people in the country, and I get to teach some of the best kids in the country. And it's like a magical place where all these band nerds get to gather, and they get to be surrounded by other band nerds and frolic and do band nerdy things. It is just heaven. So I hope that I will forever be on the faculty because it's like my therapy. It's kind of like crack. I think if you were addicted to crack, camp is my crack. Yeah.
I have to ask what the banner equivalent to heroin would be.
I mean, maybe DCI is the band nerd equivalent of heroin. I don't know. Yeah.
That's funny. I think being out in Dayton, Ohio, they've got plenty of that out there, and that's usually where I.
So that's drummer crack. That's
Yeah.
drummer heroin. Yeah.
When in Rome.
Yeah.
Well, I love the Music for All summer camp. It's such a great, like you said, we met there, and it's such a great experience. I've had so many of my students go to, students who went as students and students who went as instructors, like on the color guard instructor track. Love it. Honestly, we should just do an episode about that at some point too. But
we should.
Today, we are going to talk about DCI. So we should talk about that. We have an awesome guest with us this morning. It's afternoon for most of you. It's morning for me still. Brandon from the Drum Corps AF podcast, just coming off of a recap recording from his podcast. So how is it going, Brandon?
Yeah, we did that last night, and I'm also coming off of this massive project at my house to rebuild my deck out back, which we started that May 8th, and it is now June 30th, and we're still not done with that, and we're almost done. I still have some railings to put up, but my life is I would use a different term, but it's crazy chaos right now. Normally I would use a different term, but yeah, we're not the AFers that we're used to. So yeah, other than that, drum corps season's here, and we're underway, and it's kind of hard to believe that it's already here, because I feel like we just did WGI percussion 2 weeks ago.
Well, I feel like it sneaks up on me, and then I end up missing a lot of the new stuff. At least I'm still excited to hear about it now.
I'm still processing George Washington punting a baby into the scoreboard of Dayton Arena. I'm still trying to let that marinate a little bit.
Well, they're coming back. George Mason did not age out, so it's my understanding that he'll be back again.
He's in the Spartans.
Oh,
he's marching Spartans right now.
Okay. He's in the Spartans. Little breaking news. Somebody from the Spartans told me, "Did you see George Mason this winter?" I said, "Yeah, I saw it. Like, I wasn't there, but I saw a video." Well, George Mason is in Spartans.
I heard he turned into a local bit of a celebrity around Dayton after prelims, because the show was so popular that people were following him around for several hours afterwards. So,
oh my gosh, I will try to get us George Mason. Don't worry. I will try to get him for us.
George Mason, if you're listening to this episode,
I'll pull some strings. I'll try and get him.
Ricardo was live at a show. How did that go?
Oh my goodness, it was amazing. First of all, I'm going to start off by saying this to all of you people who sit at home and get on your keyboards and talk a whole bunch of crap about drum corps. The activity is not dying. It is alive and well. It is thriving. It is evolving, and it is super freaking cool to watch. Like, I know that I get the benefit this year. Yeah, I get the benefit this year of actually creating drum corps, which is totally fun. But seeing other groups do it and seeing what the things that my friends created, like live and in person, it's like a kid. I'm a kid every year at that first drum corps show, because you don't know what you're going to get. You know, we live in this age of everybody doing these elaborate uniform reveals and show reveals and all that stuff, but that doesn't mean anything until like you actually see it on the grass. And child, let me tell you, the stuff that I saw, I only got to see 3 corps this week. I saw Cabbies, Phantom, and Carolina Crown, and all 3 of them, it's just like, wow, like this everyone is smart, everyone is thinking about things, and the kids are pushing the activity. Like, it's so awesome. It inspired me to be ready to go back on tour today, which I'm going in just a few hours to rehearsal. But like the creativity that comes along with it, and things that are being pushed in design, and especially now in the age of like all the digital printing stuff and how things can be coordinated from top to bottom, from uniforms to flags to props, all of those things. I mean, it's something spectacular to see. And all drum corps is good drum corps. I don't think that there's such thing as a bad drum corps, because any corps that makes it out onto the field is already like beat the odds with all of the stuff that it takes to be able to do that. But just the stuff that I saw at the show, how my face was blown off by the Carolina Crown and the Phantom Regiment, how I was a proud alumni seeing the Cavaliers take a step up this year and do something that was really cool and kind of went back to the roots of being the Cavaliers. It was great. Then I have been on the internet because, fortunately, my algorithm has flipped over to summer mode. So I'm getting all of these clips from all these other drum corps, and I'm like, I can't wait to see everybody's show. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So my first drum corps show is in 3 days as a competitor, and I'll get to see the West Coast corps, and I'm super jazzed about that.
Nice.
So we'll talk about that after I go and see that show.
I haven't seen much yet, but I'm really, really jazzed about the Blue Coat show because it reminds me a lot of like the 2015 Kinetic Noise type of vibe, and that's my favorite drum corps show ever.
Can we talk about those uniforms? Like, I love how that uniform is like a modern take on like their old uniforms, like the old policeman jacket uniforms.
Yeah.
And the clip that I have seen so far, which I'm gonna rant and rave on this, they have this giant swing flag that they open with, and it made my heart so happy because I don't know who made the rule that we can't have swing flags in drum corps, but I don't like that rule, and I'm over it. The only argument I have
Same.
ever
Oh
heard
my
for it
gosh.
is that's so bando. Guys, drum corps is just advanced band. That's literally all it is. Drum corps is bando. So bring back swing flags. 2026, if I'm designing the show for somebody gonna have a swing flag and everybody's gonna love it because it's gonna be beautiful and we're gonna get them GE points.
Well,
You know,
I'm
The
excited
swing
to see that.
to piggyback on what Ricardo was talking about, we recorded for Drum Corps AF last night, and one of the themes of discussion was how the Bluecoats feel like they have kind of gone back to their 2013 to 2016 era conceptually, and they're really playing up a lot of the tropes that they did during those 3 or 4 shows, and you can see that they're doing that in addition with what they're using to push the activity forward through kind of what they did between 2022 and last year. A lot of E flat major 7 third inversion chords, you know, that D on the bottom with the E flat up top. But I also want to point out that this is the first year in a while that we've had a net gain in total cores in the activity participating this year as compared to the previous year, especially with all age and the former DCA crowd. We actually have 15 or 16 ensembles participating this year. I think we'll get 14, maybe 15 to Indy, but we'll see how many get down there. Yeah, it's going to be a fun year.
I didn't realize that, but that it kind of reminds me too. I feel like I see DCI doing a lot of the old stuff it used to do, and I know they just got a new CEO recently. I feel like they're taking a lot of steps to try to do more. Like they're bringing back the theater show, the one where they
Yes.
do the Fathom events in movie theaters around the country. That's coming back.
They
And then-
actually tour premiere. They've been doing tour premiere in theaters for a while now. They actually ended up killing off the prelims event in theaters last year because that apparently was losing a lot of money.
Okay.
Yeah, mainly just because the theaters aren't going to make much from that, and we're not going to make anything from it because it's how do you charge for that?
I fear for that when I saw they were bringing back Big Loud and Live. I fear for that because I used to love that.
Yep.
A bunch of my friends would go to the theater right here at Garden State Plaza. Like, we would all go meet up. But now is everybody just so used to, because it wasn't there last year? Are we all just so used to watching it at home on Flow marching? I hope it's a success. It used to be a fun night, but I'm a little worried for it.
I definitely think the streamability has been the thing that killed that off. And to go back to what Steven was talking about, what's old is new again has really been a big thing the last couple of years, especially like what Cavaliers did in 23 with their anniversary show, where they pulled back whole elements of previous shows and put them in, and the uniforms are kind of evolving into old designs are new again with new elements on top of them. Arrangements are coming back with the same kind of style and mentality. I think I don't want to say designers are getting lazy, but I feel like some of them are going back to the well because they're looking for inspiration in a sense.
Well, I think, when you say that, going back to the well, I think that the well is so deep and there's so much fullness inside that well that there's so many things that you can pull from. And I know for myself being a designer, it's like, how can I challenge myself to do something that I know is that I know works and that I know is good? How can I do it in a different way? How can I approach it in a different way and still keep the integrity of what it is? And I think we're seeing that with the design of most of these shows, at least the shows that I've seen so far and the clips that I've seen so far. So it's super interesting to kind of watch that transformation and that cyclical repeat of taking elements back, even back to like the 70s. Like we've had some throwback stuff, to those days, and I am here for it. I am here. Play me some Chuck Mangione. Do it. Bring out the Chick Corea.
I definitely feel one of the big catalysts in this. I think we're in the midst of a paradigm shift in the activity in terms of trying to reconcile the history and the heritage of where drum corps and a lot of the marching arts came from in the mid-century, mid 20th century up till now, to try and bridge the gap that seems to exist between the elders of the activity and the incoming members. And they're trying to do it in ways that are palatable for the people and the alumni who have been there before, but also it's entertaining and exciting and inspiring to the younger performers who are trying to come in or that they're trying to get into the activity, so that we can keep it going and keep it rolling.
It's so funny because I feel like this is the perfect way to segue into, I was at the All Age show on Saturday night in Shelton, Connecticut. Stephen, were you there?
Yep. Yeah, Bush was there. I was there.
Yeah, no,
I had to get in and out.
Yeah, no, I heard. Oh, yeah, exactly. But I feel like now, All Age is going to be like rushing to catch up. Like you got like, it seems like World and probably Open have like done everything that you guys are talking about, kind of bringing it back a little bit. And I feel like All Age they're taking your former approach a little bit. Like the shows in All Age are so innovative and so I think they're going to be running a little bit to catch up with you guys as you swing it back around, So, it was really, really interesting. I mean, I'll tell you what, you got to listen on July 11th to my All Age episode, but I won't go too far into it. But I'm going to tell you something right now, and Stephen, you're going to like this. It's not a two-horse race this year. It's not.
Ooh,
you don't think?
Nope.
I definitely have to say that the placement is going to be hard to suss out for a lot of these groups because there's so much parity across the top six, particularly. First, second, and third is going to be really tough between Boston, the Bluecoats, and probably BD or and this is where it gets interesting because Phantom looks like they have something that could give them momentum from last year to vie for a medal. Crown is still in the mix with those, so Phantom, Crown, and BD are all going to be duking it out.
And do not sleep on the Santa Clara Vanguard either.
Right, Vanguard is coming out swinging this year because they got momentum from last year, and they were able to prove that, hey, we can do this without the props. We can rely strictly on our visual game like we did 30 years ago. The Mandarins are still in that mix. The Blue Stars probably building off something last year that may have a little bit more momentum. And then everything from 9th place on back through 16th is a complete toss-up. And it's going to be utter chaos to see it from here until finals.
Gonna be some fighting, y'all.
I was just informed that Ricardo needs to get on the bus or he's going to miss it. So we're going to let you guys go. And Brandon, if you want to go and get that Drum Corps AF podcast produced and up so we can all listen to it, it'd be awesome.
I will hopefully have that
We'll be
done
back from rehearsal
tomorrow
this
so that we can drop tomorrow evening. So, yeah.
Well, guys, you heard it.
Celebrating its 25th anniversary, Guard Closet was founded as a consignment shop in 2000. Since then, it has grown to become your one-stop shop for the marching arts.
Do you need consignment uniforms and flags for your color guard, marching band, or drumline? We have thousands of sets of consignments in stock and ready to ship.
Do you need show design and custom choreography? Our designers have years of experience in the marching arts.
Do you need to sell your items and clear out your storage areas? We take in more than 600 sets of consignments each year and return hundreds of thousands of dollars to our consigners for their sales.
Do you need to have your students order shoes, gloves, and other equipment? We can set up a microsite for easy student ordering of a wide variety of items.
Do you need custom costumes or flags? We can help get you great designs from our team through top vendors like Show Day Designs.
Have you listened to our podcast On a Water Break? Weekly episodes and bonus content keep you entertained and informed with what's going on in the marching arts.
For over 25 years, Guard Closet has been here to help. Check us out at guardcloset.com or follow us on social media.
think Tom just texted me and said that they're having trouble with connecting the camera and audio. Hi, Fran. Okay. Can Brent, what years did you design the Blue Coats uniforms?
2010 through 2015.
Oh man,
We should talk about that.
they're like my favorite uniforms ever.
Literally,
Last
no.
great uniforms.
Yep.
This got brought up. in
You're
the first
joking, but
segment.
I agree.
When they brought this up in the first segment, I was like, Brent has to know this. Oh, he's texting me again.
And I do just want to give you guys a heads up. If we stick to the timeline that we're talking, it won't be an issue, but I'll probably need to leave around between 12:50, 12:55 or so. Perfect. But yeah, I'll stick as long as I can.
She says it's still not working for him.
Are we live right now? Hi.
Hi, YouTube.
I really did not, because honestly, I went with what was in the email, and then I've written a bunch of stuff. I've got a few cohesive thoughts. I don't know if they're topics per se. I am. You'll get to know me soon enough. So I've got things like about, performance being special, dressing up to the occasion. The idea of, I would say dressing up to the occasion of the performance. That performance is special. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. I've got a spiel on winning at all costs, but yeah, I had consulted for Blue Coats uniform, the 2010 through right up through the 2015 look. So, okay. Alrighty.
It's your specialty, right? He is. They're actually trying on a different computer now.
Well, we're live somewhere, so Trish, what did you think of the DCA all age, the competition you were at?
Like
Let's
I
do
said,
that.
I don't think it's a 2-horse race this year. First of all, the Buccaneers. Wow.
I haven't gotten to actually see Cabs or Bucks
Yeah.
shows, but I was hearing Cabs and Bucks in the lot while we were warming up. Yeah. So, what did you think of the DCI All Age show that you were at, Trish?
Wow. First of all, I'm gonna say this again. You got to listen on next Friday, but I don't think it's a 2-horse race this year. Although the Bucks are very, very strong out of the gate as usual, super innovative. I keep busting Nick Tavares' chops though, because who, for those of you who don't know, he's like their program designer. And keep busting his chops because the show is entitled On Display, and I'm not getting any Melissa Gorga on display in the show at all. So
miss.
yeah, come on, where's Real Housewives of New Jersey? Come on, let's get Melissa Gorga on display. No, come on. Anyway, but they're out of the gate, phenomenal. Can't say enough, good things about it. But Bushwhackers and Caballeros, I mean, a little torn here because I'm a Bush alum. I believe Magenta and Blue also. Really great. As a Bush alum, I get the whole infinity thing. Very, very special. But wow, the show is really incredible this year. But I also have 2 kids in the Caballeros, 2 former students in the Caballeros. So there's that, but they were good too. I just think everybody's, really stretching it out, pushing the envelope this year. And I think it's really, really going to be something.
Well,
Sunrise
here's the
is
big
much
thing that I
improved.
think.
Yeah.
At least when it comes to Bush, like at the end of the day, it's still hard to compete with the size of Cabs and Bucks horn lines. But this is the first year where I think Bush is really doing like a fun forward show. The music for the Bush show is awesome. All 3 movements are really cool, modern, and fun. And I just think like seeing that happen in Lucas Oil is just going to make Bush look even more attractive. And
I can't wait to see what the guard's wearing. I think that's going to really add to it, whatever they wear.
Yeah, that'll be a big part of it because I like the color scheme a lot already. So I'm excited to see kind of that filled out.
It's very Bush. It's very magenta and blue. It's very, with other things going on there too. But I can't wait to see what the guard's wearing. I think that's going to take it up even another notch.
So my thing for my bottom line here is even if Bush doesn't win it this year, I think that this show is going to draw a lot of people to Bush, and it's not going to be long before they have the same size horn line at Bush that they do at Cabs and at Bucks.
Agreed. Hey.
All right. Woohoo. Yeah.
Hi, Nick.
Hello.
The drop shock of like it kicking you out and going back in. He's probably having PTSD.
Yay!
We all made it.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Actually, I have a question. Whenever we do the 32 count, 32 count story, and then you say tell us the whole story, is that like the whole life story, or do you want the whole story about the suit? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, welcome back to the sideline. I'm going to take you guys to the uniform room today for our news segment. So let's go. I am so excited that this worked out because we actually have a newsmaker here with us on the pod today on the live show. If you have not yet seen it on social media, our next guest is absolutely making news. He's trying to win a contest. He made an entire band uniform out of duct tape. So everybody, please welcome Nicholas Moore. Now, of course, when I knew we were going to have Nicholas on, I immediately thought about one of my good friends who is a band uniform designer, so super professional here, Brent Becker. Hey, Brent. So I think we had you on our previous show that we used to have, but this is your first time joining us on a water break, right? So we need to get your 32 count life story. And not on mute.
Sounds good. Yep.
All right. You know how this works, right? So we're going to give you 8 off the Met, and then you're just going to dive right in and tell us everything that has happened to you from the day of your birth till today.
All right. Hello, I'm artist educator and uniform design specialist Brent Becker. Music and art are my lifelong passion and profession. I've been a uniform designer since 2007. Several prominent corps, college bands, and high school programs have worn my uniform designs. I'm also an adjunct instructor of studio art and art history with 20 years of classroom experience. My personal artwork has been shown internationally in juried exhibitions and can be found in many private collections. Outside in studio and lecture hall, I've been a brass musician for 36 years, performing in a variety of concert and marching ensembles, including symphony orchestras, 8 years of drum corps, including top 5 drum corps and other community music organizations.
Awesome. Okay, so now that Brent has set the standard, Nicholas, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, 8 off the Met, and we're going to start all the way from the beginning of your time to now.
All right. So I was born and raised in North Carolina, and then in first grade I joined the Boy Scouts, and I'm about to become an Eagle Scout soon. In second grade, I started to do science fair, and I found a passion for science and engineering, and I really love it. And then in sixth grade, I joined the band and decided to play French horn, mainly because my brother played sax, and I wanted to kind of follow in his footsteps with the band. So, and then whenever I joined high school, I learned trumpet and mellophone, and I'm currently learning baritone, and I have a love for music ever since.
Right there, right on the dot. That was awesome.
So I got to say, as a science teacher, I appreciate the love of science and engineering leading you in as you joined band, because that's essentially what happened with me as well.
And I can see something interesting behind you back there. This was actually a completely new story to me, so I'm curious the why, the how. Tell us a little bit about this duct tape uniform that you're creating, and the contest it's for, and the whole story here.
Right. So when I originally started thinking of a design, I really wanted to incorporate music somehow, because I really love marching band, concert band, and basically anything musical. And I thought with all the instruments I've learning, it only makes sense that I make a brass musical themed duct tape suit. So I decided to do that, and I decided to also incorporate gold duct tape to act as kind of the brass in it. Um, I decided to also put like sheet music in there that you can actually kind of read. I wanted to make it an actual song, but I decided not to because that might conflict with like copyright. But yeah, um, but I also incorporated a shako because I thought the uniform itself might not be seen as marching band, and I really wanted to incorporate marching band because I love drum corps, I love marching band, so yeah. So I added a shako, and a shako wouldn't be complete without a plume, so I had to make a really big plume as well.
It looks
And then
good back there.
So
yeah, thank you.
it does. Brent, have you seen this up close?
I have not. I've seen images through social media. It's rather impressive. A lot of times when folks are starting out in uniform design endeavors, they forget things like, oh, where the arm sleeves and all that, where that seam should be, that there should be a neck hole. You're noticing things that need to be in place from a practical standpoint, but the aesthetic of it is truly amazing, and I wish you the best in this contest endeavor of yours.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so it's a scholarship contest, and if it's the same as I feel like I remember seeing this when I was in high school, that duct tape brand duct tape holds this contest each year for you to build your prom dress and tuxedo from duct tape. So how did you first hear about this contest? What made you want to like actually, I know you said talking about science and engineering and wanting to build stuff, but like what made you say, hey, I could do something with this?
Yeah, so my sister actually was in the competition before, and that's kind of how I learned about it, because she also is really into design and art. So I decided to give it a shot as well. But I think the main thing that made me want to do it is I really just have a love for like all types of arts, not just like the music industry. So I thought this would be a good way to showcase my other forms of art too, like design.
Yeah, definitely. And I bet along the way, it probably has been like a good learning process and solving problems. I think that's a lot of what goes into engineering and science to begin with. So this entire construction is probably a much more complicated endeavor than it looks like from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Brent, you think you could walk us through like the actual making of a uniform? And
Oh my goodness. Well, the abbreviated version, or at least I think what we want to focus on here when we talk about structure and form here, because I'm seeing it on a dress form in the background there, and as worn in the images that have been circulating through the interwebs, there it needs to have a certain amount of structure. I'm curious, Nicholas, did you look at a pattern? Did you go over an existing men's suit form or tuxedo form? What was your process in terms of getting that structure that, yes, that reads as a structured garment there?
Yeah, so I used kind of old clothes as a foundation or a base to tape over. But actually with the jacket, I needed to make it a little longer just because of how it would fit the design better. So I actually sewed on some muslin to the end of the suit jacket in order to tape over that as well.
So you are getting kind of what we refer to as a practical draping experience here in the garment industry in that. So you are actually modifying existing forms, which is what so much of fashion design really relies on. There's only so many ways to make a suit. It's really down to colors and materials here, which in this case are very much enjoyed by me from my years in the industry. So did you do anything with the way of buttons? Is there how are you approaching the textures, the colors of it? Now I heard brass earlier, and I heard stuff about script music or sheet music notes there. What other fun details have you incorporated?
Yeah, so I did a lot of I did do the buttons. They for coloring specifically, I did a lot of gold highlights. Like you can see in the lapels, I made the tie out of gold, and I made all the buttons out of gold as well. If you look really closely at the vest, you will see actually a lot of different cutouts of instruments on them. There's French horns on them, there's trumpets, there's baritones and mellophones, because I wanted to incorporate everything that I can play and I will play. It was very hard to do all that. I had to cut out each individual one, and not only that, I had to just design each individual one and make sure that they were all uniform. But it turned out really good. So
I agree. It looks great. For future reference, something like a Cricut machine can help you if you digitize those forms. You can just print them and peel them out and stick them. Just pro tip for later on, right?
Yeah, I used a Cricut machine to cut them out mostly.
Nick, how long did it take you from start to finish to put the design together?
I actually had to log all of that. It took quite a few days, but it took around 97 hours, I think, is what we said. Yeah.
And another question we had, how many rolls of duct tape?
We also had to log that. It was around 42 rolls of duct tape.
Okay.
Bad.
No, I was expecting more too.
Yeah, this is a contest for scholarship. People can vote on it, so it's based on votes from the public. How do people find this and vote for your design?
So it's on the Duck brand website, and also with my social media links, I post out links to voting and QR codes to voting. And I have friends who run I have some friends who run restaurants, some family friends, and they put up QR codes in their restaurant. And I'm also making little button pins that have the QR codes on them, in order so I can just hand out to people and they can go vote online.
Awesome. Well, we need to let Steven go to his rehearsal, and let's all go vote. Let's go do that right
I'm
now.
gonna go vote right now. You should too.
Hi everyone, it's time for your travel tip of the week with me. I'm Beth with Peak Group Travel. If you're doing a special performance on your next tour, make sure you contact the venue to be sure of everything that's included. Things like electricity, chairs, stands, lighting, and maybe even large percussion instruments might not be included. So make sure you check before you leave in case you need to bring anything on your own. Don't forget to like and follow Peak Group Travel on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And be sure to email info@peakgrouptravel.com when you're ready to start planning your next performance tour. This is Beth with Peak Group Travel and your travel tip of the week. Ready to elevate your travel game? Welcome to Peak Group Travel, the ultimate adventure creators. Whether you're planning an unforgettable class trip, a once-in-a-lifetime parade experience for your marching band, or a choir tour full of memorable performance venues, Peak Group Travel handles it all, so you can focus on making memories. From breathtaking international destinations to amazing adventures right here at home, Peak Group Travel customizes every journey to your vision. We're not just planners, we're your partners for the trip you want for your students. Our online registration portal makes managing your pre-trip experience smooth and convenient. We even collect your payments if you'd like. Picture it, effortless planning, unmatched experiences, and smiles that last long after the journey ends. That's the Peak Group Travel difference. And if you choose to partner with Peak on your next tour, and you mention that you heard about us on the On a Water Break podcast, you'll earn a $100 trip credit. Discover why groups everywhere trust Peak Group Travel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and be sure to visit peakgrouptravel.com today. You pick the date, and we'll make it great.
Gonna be awesome.
Not not really. Mainly just the shoes, but yeah.
Oh yeah, those shoes are styling.
Gotta be the shoes.
I'm also glad they let you make it like by putting tape on pieces of a garment because that was specifically against the rules when I was in high school.
Really?
Just saying.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was one of the reasons I didn't do it.
I think a lot of people nowadays actually just do that. So
Yeah, it's probably the standard. That's
Yeah.
because it's crazy to try and like I was like, what am I gonna build it on my body? And then like how do I like peel it off or something?
yeah.
Even nowadays, patterns are so much more widely available. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Woohoo!
Hey there, Rare.
Hello.
I feel like having Brandon on like elevates our professionalism.
Hey,
just
now,
with
I've got a
real
reputation to
hardcore
uphold here,
podcaster.
so.
See,
I was actually supposed to go to the office this morning. We had a network outage, so I'm working from home, and that's why I have the fancy shirt on. So
nice. So we were just talking over the commercial break, and Nicholas, I gotta know about these shoes. Tell me about the shoes that you made with this whole ensemble.
Right. So the shoes actually I kind of wanted to incorporate a little bit of marching style to them. So they are black, but they do also have sheet music swirling around it, and they have a gold trim at the bottom.
That's awesome. They look so good. Of course, what's your Instagram handle so that people can go and look at pictures of the of your ensemble?
Right. So Instagram is at Brass Tape Band Kit, I think. And then TikTok is at Brass Tape.
Nice. All right, with that, we have our wonderful designer expert here. So he's going to give us a 60-second tech block to get us all ready.
60-second tech block.
60-second tech block. That's my favorite part.
Mine too. I love
Patricia. For you guard people. We have a show
it's
today,
like
sweetie.
Ricardo came back. Oh, speaking of, Brandon's back. Hey.
Hi.
All right, let's do 60-second tech block. This is the segment where one of our hosts or guest clinicians is put on the spot to deliver a nonstop 60-second tech session on a topic that needs some serious attention after the last run. Our special tech this week has come prepared with 3 topics they think they can talk about for a full 60 seconds straight. No hesitation, no pauses, just pure technical gold. And this week, we're going to throw it over to Brent. So, Brent, you said your best topics were dressing up the occasion of the performance, making it special, winning at all costs, or the 2011 to 2015 Blue Coat uniform designs.
Oh.
What do you guys think? Let's vote.
They're all so good.
I'm going to lean in towards the Blue Coats uniforms.
Okay.
I'd say the
I
same.
knew you were going to say that because we just talked about that.
It's very
Everybody wants
prescient,
to know
yes.
about the Blue Coats uniform. So, Brent, are you ready?
I guess that's the topic that blew everyone away. Let's go.
Ooh.
Hey.
You see what you did there.
Trish, can you pull up a 60-second timer on your phone?
Got it.
All right, let's do it. 60 seconds on the clock.
All right. So I was approached by my employer and the executive director of the Blue Coats to refresh an image that they established in 2009 with Michael Gray. His uniform design had been based off of an anime series of all things. So there's some pop culture reference happening there that's kind of law enforcement oriented, tying into the Blue Coats history there. After that, look was played out for
30 seconds.
We moved towards the long British Bobby style, more 19th century look there with the long coat that was featured prominently in the show Tilt. So that again, there's a lot of history and a lot of cultural references happening within all of those looks.
10. Oh! I thought I was just giving you a warning and you were like beating the clock.
Yeah, they definitely do have that.
I remember.
That
I have to tell you
19th
the
century
moment.
British brass band look to them.
I just remember the moment I saw the anime that the previous design was based on, and I was like, I don't remember. My husband was watching it or something, and I was just like, what is this? Is it a drum corps uniform in an anime? And then I had to text Brent and be like, what is this I'm watching? And he said, it's the other way around.
Yes, there's definitely some trans-Pacific cultural what we call like pollination going on there between these ideas and that. So inspiration comes in the most unusual places, and I think sometimes the more obscure the better. But we should own where these things come from and not try to disguise it too much, for sure, especially if we're trying to connect to that reference directly.
That ties perfectly into Nicholas and where he was getting the inspiration for his designs. All right, that was a solid 60-second tech block. So hopefully someone out there just got that tech advice they didn't even know that they needed, especially as they're designing their fall show. So it's time to switch things up and get into our favorite segment. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
All right, this is the part of the show where we let you let loose a little bit, or maybe a lot. This is your chance to rant about something in the marching arts that just doesn't make sense. Maybe it's a tradition that needs to go. Maybe it's a habit that performers can't seem to break. Maybe it's something that makes you think, why are we even doing this? Or why haven't we started doing this yet? Whatever it is, this is your moment to call it out. So who's got something they need to get off their chest first?
I'll start.
Trish?
I got something that we were
Brandon.
talking about last night on Drum Corps AF when we were recording. What are we doing with? And this is a common complaint that's been around for a couple decades, so it's not necessarily new, but it's starting to become actually a little bit of a thing, I think. Maybe it's just because I'm getting old. What are we doing with these shows that seem to be esoteric for esoteric's sake? Where are the show concepts that are accessible to the audience member and the people in the stands that don't have access to the show notes or the program notes? Where is that digestible
yes
steps and music and repertoire and themes that are consumable at face value without having to have a dissertation to go with them? What happened to those? It's not, we don't have to go over the show bands and HBCU universes. They still have the ability to do that, to put something on the field that is immediately consumable and recognizable. Why did we go away from that? It is the quest for GE so sacrosanct that we cannot maintain some kind of accessibility?
Sometimes I think we're just pretending to understand what the show is about so that we seem like we're as smart as what's going on in the room there.
I also, for me, it's always been, and you guys that have studied music can absolutely shut me down because I don't. But for me, through the years of working with marching band and listening to people talk and listening to music ed and music performance majors in school, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that back then, and I'm a back then girl, you did drum corps for different reasons. Now, I think you see more music ed majors and music performance majors that are studying this large, library of repertoire that are sitting in a practice room somewhere going, this will make a real, you know what, when I'm a band director, I'm going to do a show about this piece of music. And now those are the people that are doing drum corps. And also drum corps has also made themselves more accessible to those people by changing the move-in times. When you have to be at spring training is largely based on when the college kids get out of school. Well, who are those college kids? They're the music majors. So, I think that for me, that's always had a lot to do with it. Talking to my, music ed friends that, around marching bands I've worked with throughout the years. Oh, they know this piece by Mahler and they know this piece by, and I'm like, don't even give me the score. I need the MP3 to write the work. Like, I don't know anything about that. But I think that has a lot to do with it, that it's geared more towards music, people that are studying music in college and want to be marching band directors or want to play in, the Met someday or whatever. I think that has a lot to do with it, that they're asked to study this broad spectrum of repertoire, and shows come out of that and concepts come out of that. To me, that's me.
Well, Trish, does that lead right into your what are we doing?
Before, does Brent want to go before me, or should I do my what are we doing?
Oh, I concede. Absolutely. Let's hear what you got, Trish.
Okay, so my what are we doing was going to be about why are so many color guards wearing blue this year? I didn't know why that happened.
Oh my God, yes, why?
It's not just a color guard thing. It's drum corps too, man. Everybody's got blue.
But I have since changed it. If anybody wants to steal it, go ahead. I've since changed it to like these show announcements and not telling us until the day of your first show what your show is. Is it really ruining it for anybody here? Like if they'd have told us 2 months ago what their show was, like, all right, I knew a little while ago the Crusaders show was called Boom. We didn't know anything else really. We just knew it was called Boom. Watching it on Flow the other night did not ruin it for me. It did not ruin it for me. You could have told me your whole rep. You could have told me what like, you know, all these cores that are like, oh no, we have to keep it a secret. We have to wait until the day of to make this big announcement. Is it ruining it for anybody? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
really?
I have to agree. Like, I thoroughly love the Troopers for putting out their show repertoire and concept back in November.
That's true.
And actively promoting
Yeah.
it. And I don't understand what the point of this secrecy stuff is, because what purpose are you serving by doing that? No one is coming out and actively trying to steal your concept material in April, you know, after camps have come out. Like, cut the crap and just tell us what you're doing. It helps with recruitment.
Oh, but it's called
It
marketing.
does.
We got
It's not
to
marketing.
build it up and market it.
Like, for example, okay, I start this. One of my many teacher summer gigs is I work at this summer music program at a school near my house. And I teach a color guard class from 8:30 to 9:20. Then I teach a Zumba class from 9:30 to 10:20. And then I have the whole rest of the day to myself. So it's wonderful. But at the first thing at the color guard class this morning, first of all, the color guard class grew in size from last year. So I was like, do we even have enough equipment here? I mean, I have some I'd have to bring it tomorrow, but do we even have enough equipment here? So I was like, all right, let's do this today for the first day. Let's talk about color guard, what it is, blah, 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 whatever. And I said, does anybody have any questions? And one girl raised her hand. I said, yes. She goes, what song are we doing? So like that matters. Like it really matters. Like she doesn't know how to spin the flag yet, but she wants to know what the song is going to be, what song we're going to perform to. You know what I mean? So it does matter.
I would say that as a to real quick to piggyback, as a performer, if you're not telling me what we're playing musically, because it's the show concept and theme is so secret that you can't even tell the members what they're playing to or what the music they're playing is.
And from what I understand, that happens.
I feel like
they don't tell them right away either.
I feel like that's a detriment towards member retention and recruiting in the long run. And if you're trying to recruit to prospective high school students, college students that want to do drum corps, it's going to be hard for them to get on board if you can't tell them what you're working on, because, oh, hey, how are we going to get excited about Secret Project X?
Right.
Crap about that.
No.
Come on.
No.
You're fooling yourselves, and you're letting your own vanity get in the way of things.
Brent, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Okay, I'm saying the current costuming paradigm is the marching arts version of fast fashion. This is an idea that garments are designed for single season use, often cheaply produced with synthetic materials that do not biodegrade and are destined for landfill. No one here has the funds to make the I in DCI interplanetary. We have one planet, and we need, I'd love to see marching on Mars someday. For the sake of that planet, we need to do better. We need to overcome this fear of committing to an image for longer than a 10-show season. Insisting on specific auteur versions, that needs to go out of style and fast. Any authentic designer can work with what they have instead of insisting on every aspect of a largely musical program, bending it towards their visual whims. Save the planet, wear a uniform.
I'm reminded of the 3 R's mantra from
Yes.
the 1990s, the reduce, reuse, recycle thing. And the first step to eliminating or reducing your carbon footprint is to reduce your consumption. And plastic is oil-based. You want to reduce, you want to cut your carbon footprint, travel less and buy less plastic. That's the 2 easiest things you can do right there. And beyond that, like every argument that they say, well, we have to theme our stuff to meet the show design. No, you don't. Some of the most iconic shows in drum corps, marching band, or WGI history were done with consistent uniforms year over year that were reused from member to member, and they will forever be indelible in our minds because the show was sold irrespective of what they were wearing. Spartacus, Spartan, the Phantom wore those uniforms the year before or the year after that, or they were recycled from previous years. Why do we have to have something new every year?
Yeah, definitely. We do not.
We can also
do less,
buy
do more with
consignment.
less, I think, is kind of where we're going here.
For sure. So, Nicholas, you kind of know how this flows. Do you have any what are we doing things to question
I
our
do.
whole society, our whole marching art society?
I do. What are we doing with the drum corps shows that don't follow? They don't have as much technical aspect in the brass as they once used to. Recently they have technical aspects, but when you look at a show like Carolina Crown all the way back in 2014, they had fast triple tonguing and double tonguing passages that I think that they should still try to put on during these times instead, like after COVID.
Is
I
Matt
think after
Harloff
COVID.
feeding complaints?
Let's not forget to mention how a lot of things are just unison nowadays too. Again, we're losing the articulative stuff as well as the harmonies and counterpoint stuff that used to be in there. Go back and listen 80s, 90s drum corps and some of those beast mellophone sections that were doing all these wonderful little riffs and runs on top of things. Now we do a mellow sustain. It's like, okay, wonderful for intonation, pleasant on the ears, but give me the energy of a nice little run there.
Yeah, especially
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Gush and go.
All right, let's change it over to the Gush and Goes. This is your chance to shout out something awesome happening in your life. It could be marching arts related. It could be not marching arts related. Maybe you're excited about a performance, student success, life event, just something cool you want to brag about. We're going to be no negativity here, just pure unfiltered hype. So, who wants to start us off?
I feel like Nicholas should have to go first for this one.
Okay, I can start. So obviously I'm very excited about the duct tape suit, and I'm very excited for the competition and everything, and the judging that's currently going on and the voting. That ends July 9th, and you can vote every single day. So another thing I'm really excited about is
I just did.
Great.
Woohoo!
My marching band, my high school marching band's band camp is coming up in later July, which I'm very excited about. 2 weeks from 8 to 8, so a lot of work. But I'm really excited about Night Beat that's coming up. Since I'm in North Carolina, I get to go to Night Beat and see it kind of in the mid to later season. All the drum corps shows, once they've improved so much.
Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun.
I think
Trish,
it would
you wanna
almost
go
help
ahead
us
and
to
gush?
listen. Oh, go ahead. Oh. As I say, we have a actual young person performer here who could, give us lots of insights someday, collect their thoughts on repertoires and uniforms and the like. That would be certainly fascinating to hear more of someday, time pending.
Trish, what do you want to gush and go on about?
I also want to gush and go about the start of the drum corps season. I went to an all-age show the other night that had a lot of alumni corps and an open class corps, 7th Regiment. And, it's always just so much fun. It's so exciting to see what everybody's doing and see what everybody looks like. And, even that, I came home from Connecticut. I walked in the door and I popped on Flow Marching, and I was able to see the end of Drums Along the Rockies, which was cool. So I love this time of year. I love getting to see everything. And I have 2 former students of the Caballeros Color Guard. My cousin's marching in Spirit of Atlanta's Color Guard. So, I'm really excited about all of that too. So bring it on. DCI 2025, let's go.
Brent, what would you like to gush and go on about?
I think mine is bittersweet in that my child is entering their final season of high school band camp here, and they're starting their rehearsals up. And it's my last time to be that band parent. So it's again, it's nice to see, but it's like this is the last time I'm like that kind of connection to what I'm doing, as opposed to designing for other groups and that sort of thing. So I got to design the uniform that they wear. So it's really, again, that bittersweet, but ultimately positive thing, because you want your kids to spread their wings and move on from where they are.
Of course. Brandon, you want to gush and go?
Yeah, I've got a couple things. One of my students auditioned for the K-State drumline and made the snare line on his first time up as a junior, which is good. We haven't had anybody repped on their drumline in a couple of years from my institution. My deck is almost done, and drum corps season's here, and I wasn't ready for it this year, but it's here, and I'm here for it now. So it's going to be fun. I get to go to one show this year. I unfortunately don't get to go back to finals until maybe next year. So yeah.
Hey, it's called Gush and Go, not Gush and Stay. Let's go.
Thank you guys for a great rehearsal this week. Thank you, Brandon from Drum Corps AF, for spending time with us today. Make sure you guys go check out their podcast and listen to their Drum Corps recaps. Thank you so much, Brent and Nicholas, for hopping on. Especially, I feel like it was super last minute that we pulled you guys in, but this was like perfect. Thank you so much to Steven, Ricardo, and Trish for hosting with me. Let's talk social media. Where can people find you guys? Brent, where are you at on social media?
I am bbecker_designs on Instagram. I'm under Brent Becker on Facebook. Most of what I do is visual, so go see the sketches before they become reality on Facebook and Instagram.
The sketches are super fun too. And Nicholas, do you want to go ahead and throw out your social media handles one more time?
Yeah. So Instagram is Brass Tape Band Kid. Sorry. You should go follow. And then at TikTok, it is just at Brass Tape. And then please vote for me at the Duck Brand Stuck at Prom website.
And vote every single day. They all count. If you guys have a question or a good topic to talk about, make sure you email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com or find us on social media and DM us if you want to be on the show. We even have a form to fill out if you want to be a guest. We love having people on the podcast, so check that out at our link in bio on our social media. Or you could just take out your phone. You could make a video, send it to us, and maybe we'll insert it in the podcast. One more thing, don't forget about our YouTube channel, which we are on live right now. Go and subscribe to our show so you can see us on there. You can catch up with the lives. You can make comments, all that sort of good stuff. And before you close out your podcast listening app, go subscribe, write us a review, share this with a friend. Follow us on all of our social media at On a Water Break, and we'll see you at the next rehearsal on a water break. Oh, no.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Ream. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.